And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. We apologize for the extended break, but we are here with our next series. With our next ZvT here in Group B. We are now past the halfway mark. We are halfway there, and Asher, what a banger of a matchup! The two top players of this group so far, neither Cure or Dark have dropped a series.
Yep, this is a matchup that could be the finals of pretty much any weekly, even a major tournament here. So this could even be, the prequel to the finals here. You never know. And spawning here in the bottom right-hand corner and talking him up quite a bit. This is the Terran Cure.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have its opponent. We have the South Korean Zero player representing CranKy Gaming. It is Dark. Here we go. Just for you, Asher. Just for you. A juicy ZvT. Oh.
Yeah, juicy ZvT. We're going to be kicking things off on Neo Humanity. We did see DRG previously punish Cure for going for that low ground 2 racks on Neo Humanity, and he's not going to be doing it this game.
Yeah, this time he's going for the high ground expansion instead, which does make plenty of sense. I think you were alluding to it earlier, but we did cast Dark versus Cure. Oh, sorry, I say we. Dark versus Cure was featured on this channel a couple of days ago in ESL Open Cup Americas. Also in ESL Open Cup Asia as well this week. They actually played in both weeklies. And Dark on this map was able to abuse Cure with a big 1-1 roach timing on Neo Humanity off of that kind of delayed factory opener of the 2 racks from Cure. So yeah, we can see him changing or switching things up quite a bit.
Yeah, that's right. He is just going to be going for a very standard opener here. And Dark likewise playing standard as well. But Dark, he can kind of mix things up at any time. He plays to his own beat, which is really interesting at such a high level, and I feel like you just never really know what to expect.
Yeah, and he's been very fond of this specific build on Neo Humanity. I don't know how you feel about it, but we saw something similar from DRG. This is a gasless opener out of Dark, so a very fast third base, no gas whatsoever, getting into faster queen production or relying on queens for early game defense.
Yeah, I don't really think there's anything you can do about it, to be honest. Just because there's so few routes to deal with creep, queens should be fine to defend pretty much everything. So I think it's a very solid choice on this map.
Definitely. I have seen Dark be a little bit greedy, and I've seen him do this on some larger maps, and he gets punished for it pretty hard. So it's a little bit harder to pull this off on, maps like, I don't know, Dragon Scales or Babylon. But here on Neo Humanity, it's a little bit easier to pull off.
Yeah, I do think on this map in particular, just because the opening to the natural is so narrow, it's less likely that you're going to get punished by a Hellion run by.
Exactly. And as a result, we do see Dark getting away with it. Back at home, Cure going for a 3cc opener. Very economic, very standard play here from Cure, which is what we expect to be seeing, at least initially, behind this going into that starboard.
Yeah, really standard stuff. Oh, okay, never mind.
Oh my god, he's crazy, Poppy.
Yeah, I have no idea what this is.
Yeah, so basically we're freaking out because there's no add-on swap. There's no factory on the reactor, which means no Hellions, which means no map control. Instead, we have a Cure going for a very fast marine production instead. With this tech lab on the factory, is he going to add-on swap or is he going to keep it on?
I think it's a cyclone drop, maybe.
Yeah?
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Okay.
Interesting. Yeah, okay, so... Yeah, this is so smart. It's so cool. I think what's going on here is because he recognizes this is gasless, instead of trying to dive Hellions to punish, he knows that Lings without speed will have a really hard time jumping on top of these Cyclones, and as a result, he might have a good chance of sniping some queens.
Yeah, exactly. So because the gases were only just now being taken, and because it's been so delayed, it's very likely that Dark is just going to skip Link speed entirely and go straight into Roach production as the Roach Warren is on the way, which means Dark is very vulnerable here to a very early push. It's very unorthodox, but as you were saying, really well thought out, but we'll see if it can work out in the execution here for Cure.
Yes, it's actually such a clever response, and it does mean as well he will have that tank. Sorry, he will have that factory on the tech lab a little bit earlier. So if he does want to start pumping out some tanks, he can do that. But looks instead like he's going to go for a very fast stim. Really cool build and very cool response to what it is that Dark is doing here.
Definitely, as so far he's not rushing across the map. He gets one overlord, he's going to get a second overlord as well, just clearing up any kind of map vision and map control. Secure taking this slow and steady back at home. Dark rushing into a lair, still no link speed. He's going for 1-1. Just yeah, really greedy play here out of Dark. We'll see if he's going to get punished for it, as I believe another overlord is going to go down.
Yeah, Overlord's just getting hunted down left and right by Cure. He is getting so much value out of this Cyclone drop, and you really can tell how difficult it. Very strong approach to this map to Neo Humanity. It's something that we have been seeing become a bit more meta here, just because the rush distance is so incredibly short once you break down the rocks.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I mean, we saw this work wonders against Cure earlier this week, and we'll see how he does here. I mean, he's already got a couple of tanks on the way. He's keeping the roaches busy with this drop play, even cleaning up some of those tumors. Back at home, we have one tank. We're going to be working on the second one as well. We'll see if Cure is, again, ready for it.
Yeah, I think Dark has Cure has a perfect setup to get what he needs to deal with this, but it's still always going to be a very difficult hold on this map, and we do see him sending out a double drop again. We saw this against DRG too, and it really came back to bite him.
It really did, because as he was moving out, the Zerg player was moving in, and we could see that again. For now, it looks like Dark is just trying to take control of the central base. He wants that rich pressing gas geyser, and he's being kept busy by the drops here, and this is creating an opening for the double drop into the main.
Yeah, double drop going to the main. We do see Infestation Pit coming out here for Dark, so it is possible that he's not going to be fully committing with the 1-1 Roach all in.
Yeah, there we go. He's droning. He doesn't believe that he can hit that timing, so he's going for a later game with that Infestation Pit. We should have access to Infestors, to fungal growth, of course, and yeah, Dark, he's more concerned with keeping up with the drops instead of pushing out.
Yeah, Infest is definitely the signature unit here of Dark. Going into a pretty fast Spire as well. What is he cooking up here?
Oh, he's cooking, Poppy. So we have Link Speed on the way as well. Interesting choice with that Spire. He could try and go Muta, I guess, which would be an interesting choice. I mean, there are no mines on the field. It is bio tanks, so Mutas wouldn't be the worst option. But on a map like Neo Humanity, because it's so small, I'm kind of concerned by that idea.
Yeah, definitely strange. We do see as well Cure's upgrades are reasonably delayed. Looks like he was just working with a single eBay for a little bit there. He's getting the second factory as well, but yeah, he did go for a bit of an offbeat opening, and as a result, he is slightly behind in some ways.
Exactly. He has a very, very strong force here. 4 tanks in between these bases. Again, if Dark did try to break this with a Roach push, he would have had a very hard time. So I do think it's a wise choice for Dark to back off instead. He's cleaning up all these rocks. He's just maintaining map control. Hive on the way. Is this Spire for a Lord Rush? Are we going to see a fast Greater Spire? Oh my god.
That is something that we've seen a lot on this map, and because of the overall just small area of the map, and there's so many dead spaces as well, all these little columns everywhere where you can abuse Broodlords. I do think that it is a good choice for the map in general, and yep, there we go, Greater Spire, as you called.
Yeah, Greater Spire on the way for Dark. So something we don't see too often from him here. But as you mentioned, we have seen it on Neo Humanity in the past, rushing into Hive Tech, of course. And yeah, Dark is going to be able to get away with it. Meanwhile, before that does occur, it looks like, oh, we do force out a massive sim. The armies are going to be clashing.
Yeah, he finally takes out that Cyclone. The Cyclone is giving him so much grief in the early game. He gets his revenge, and it is Speedlings that do it in the end.
There we go. The links did pay off in the end. Meanwhile, the Bio Army pushing on forward here. Infestors are available. We're looking for the big fungal. We do get one.
Oh, massive fungal gets the immediate chain as well. Just when this attack was starting to look very scary from Cure, we get the perfect fungal reveal from Dark.
Yeah, and with that cure, he just lost half of his bio army. He has a lot of tanks, but Dark is looking to, okay, overextending a little bit, was thinking about collapsing on the army, but there are still so many tanks with this army. That's insane. He's on 8 tanks.
Yeah, Doc getting a little bit fresh running into the line of siege tanks there. Bit of a questionable decision. He does have a decent amount of Ravagers, but Cure's doing a really good job of defending the tanks with the Marines so that the Ravagers can't get those biles off.
Exactly, the tanks are leapfrogging forward. This center base is going to be going down. Oh, the Roaches once again overextend. A lot of Roaches are going to be going down here. A bit of mispathing out of Dark, and he's in a lot of trouble. We do have 7 Broodlords on the way, though.
Yeah, the scan goes down and sees the Broodlords, and there is a sense of urgency coming out from Cure. He realizes that he has to get damage now. He has to get a lot of it because he is going to be in some serious trouble once those Broodlords are morphed in and headed across the map.
Yeah, and he's going to get 9 workers. He's going to get a base as well. The Broodlords have arrived. They're coming in from behind. Tanks are falling. Dark is going to clean this up, but what is he going to lose before that happens?
Yeah, tanks are going down. We see some Vikings being made from Cure. It's a bit of a desperation move. He's going to try to take out as many Roaches and Ravagers as he can, but the bio is melting. The tanks are melting as well. I think he might have just lost too much in this attack.
Big pickoffs as well. We saw massive bile connections take down 4 or 5 of the medevacs. Likewise, these queen snipes on medevacs as well. And Cure, he is hurting. He did do a lot of economic damage, to be fair, but the Broodlords have arrived, and that means that Dark, he's going to be safe from a push. He's actually moving out.
Yeah, Dark is on 3 bases. I think he has to try to press with these Broodlords and get some damage. Unfortunately from him, Cure has cleared out a lot of the creep. So these queens that are really necessary to get the Broodlords across the map, they are kind of stuck where the creep stops.
Yeah, they are stuck, and Dark is going to have to go for a longer game. He's taking or trying to reclaim control of his 4th. We have Vipers on the way, which will help him survive with those spellcasters, but I think Dark, he doesn't really have any pushing power, and there we go. He is droning behind this. He's going to try to macro out of this.
Yeah, and suddenly this is looking pretty nice for Cure. Cure is making Thors, he's making Vikings, and he's making Ghosts. These are the units that he desperately needed to get out, and he was going to be in a lot of trouble if he wasn't able to keep Dark on his side of the map, but fortunately the creep is sort of saving him here.
Yeah, exactly. We do see the creep just giving Dark a little bit of time, a little bit of breathing room. Hydra Den on the way. So Dark thinking about maybe going into Lurker Tech as well, which will be a great kind of supportive unit here, especially if there are too many Vikings, especially if the Broodlords start going down, as the Queens are able to barely keep them alive.
Yeah, Dark shoots his own tumor to get those Broodlings out nice and early, but I think Dark's just in massive trouble here. He could just be dead. I mean, his drone count is so low, his base count is so low as well. Cure is crafting the perfect army to deal with what he has here, and Dark's economy is just absolutely in the dumps. He can't even max out yet.
Yeah, exactly. He's on the cusp. He's on the brink of maxing out, and with these spellcasters, I do think he can maybe hold on, but here we go. We have power bombs here on those Vikings. Likewise, Queens are getting caught out. The Broodlords, they do push forward as the Vikings are forced down.
Wait, I had no idea that works like that. What?
That's the first time I've seen it, but it makes sense. You can land the Vikings to avoid the power bombs. That's crazy, Bobby. That's crazy.
I had no idea that works like that. As we do see the tanks being sieged up. Fantastic micro from Dark. God, he is good at controlling these complex armies, but I think there might just be a little bit too much here for Cure. The Thors are picking away at the Broodlords. It's going to be so close.
Oh, it's going to be so close. The Blinding Cloud is thrown down on top of those Thors, and the Broodlords are raining down supreme here on this army. 1 tank is remaining. 1 Viking is remaining as well. Cure still has an army, but he is forced back.
Absolutely beautiful army control coming out from Dark. That was so well handled, and it had to be as well.
It really did. He's barely holding on. He has a decent economy behind this. He has the rich vesting gas guys as well to make up for the lower worker count, and he has kept his spellcasters alive. We saw some big EMPs though on those infestors. It's going to take a while before they can fungal again.
Yeah, it's going to be a scary moment. We do have a lot more bases being thrown down for Cure, so he is preparing for the late game. I think that's very clever. He is sort of putting himself into an unlosable position with that.
Yeah, he's basically, you know, just walling up here and really solidifying himself. It's going to be on Dark to try to muster up an army and recover basically from this point. But even if he does, Cure will have a big economic advantage as he's sending out a couple of forces on the map looking to try and punish Dark and keep him on that low base count.
That's right. Cure already up to 4 factory as well, so he's very well prepared for the late game. Getting Blue Flame, making Hellbat's Thors, a couple tanks sneaking out there as well. So we are going to be seeing Cure add everything that he needs. Likewise, Dark adding a Lurker Den, getting air upgrades, pathogen glands, Hydra upgrades. We are just seeing both players fully preparing for the late game now.
Yeah, exactly. And it does feel like Cure is getting there a little bit better, a little bit faster, but he still has to respect the army of his opponent. We do have enough energy for a fungal. Will connect on some of the buy, but does miss the ghosts.
Yeah, he misses the ghosts, which are the most important targets for those fungals, but props for trying and doesn't lose too much in the process either. Kira's being very aggressive here. He would love to get these Brood Lords, and he does get a few.
Yeah, also a couple of ghosts are going down as well to the Roach Ravager. Big powerbomb on the Vikings. They barely do manage to stay alive. The Spore putting in a lot of work there from the ground.
Yeah, we do see those snipe lines going out everywhere. He is sniping down every single Hydra here. The Hydra's getting on top of the Thors. The Thors do not trade too well with them. We still have 3 more Broodlords in the air. The ground armies evaporating on both sides. And once again, a pretty even trade. Who is going to be able to come out on top? It feels like Dark. He is slowly losing out now.
Yeah, he's losing his army. The Broodlord count is reset. The Queens, the Hydras, it looks like he has been broken. And we mentioned earlier, he doesn't have the best economy behind this. He cannot remax. He cannot rebuild anywhere near in time. He's coming in with one last-ditch effort with Hydras.
Yeah, the backbone of the army has been smashed down, and all we have now is this Hydra Roach. It's a much lower quality army. Cure ekes this one out, but beautiful play on both sides.
GG, well played. A very close series in the end. Oh my god. Dark barely holding on, barely rushing into those Broodlords to survive, but he also did sustain a lot of damage, right? Cure, as soon as he identified that Broodlords were on the way, he was so quick to just push out and cripple the economy of Dark, an economy that he was never able to fully recover.
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, Dark did a really good job trying to survive there. He took some amazing fights, but Q was just a little bit too safe, too methodical, and actually managed to press his advantage at the perfect times. I feel like that window there that he took that last fight in was a pretty scary one to go for, but he went for it anyway and it paid off.
Yeah, did it pay off in the end. Very well done by Cure for taking game 1, but that was still a very close game nonetheless. And I expect this series to go the distance. I'm hoping that it goes the distance here as we are getting ready for game number 2. Oh boy, and I believe it's going to be on a bit of a larger map. Oh boy, it's going to be on Gressvan.
Okay, Gressvan, that is the map of late game bangers. We have seen some very long drawn out split map scenarios here, and I think Cure would love to take Dark there. The real question for me is whether Dark can stop it from getting there.
Oh yeah. As we are getting into our next game, and oh boy, lobby is soon to be set upon us as well, as we're just getting everyone involved. And oh boy, yeah, Gressvan, another large map for longer games. But that's also what Near Humanity is built for as well, and I'm sure if the players can afford to, they will look to end the game sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I think Dark will. I feel like Cure would love to take it to the late game. He's pretty good when it comes to that sort of game.
Yeah, he likes it, but he likes the 50-minute games, Papi. Oh, it's so good.
I feel like it's only really Cyril that's looking like a Zerg that wants to go to ZvT late game.
True. I think in general, for even not just ZvT, but ZvP as well, Cyril, he's willing to do that more than some of the other Zerg players out there. Yeah, I think almost every other Zerg player, actually. Interesting.
Reno said that he did, but I think it was all a ruse.
Yeah. It's cope.
He's like, oh no, you don't want to go to the late game with me. I'm a monster there. That's all I want.
That's all I want, Bobby. You better not get me there. Better end me early.
Please don't make me play mid game. I hate that.
Very confident words from Rainer that we've heard. But now we're getting into game 2 and spawning in the top left-hand corner. We have the South Korean Zerg player down in this series, in this best of 3, looking to fight back, representing CranKy Gaming. It is Dark.
That's right, and spawning here in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, it is his opponent. Once again, building buildings on the high ground, but it's not because it's not up to anything cheeky. He's going for a proxy racks. This is Cure.
Here we go. Not just one, multiple proxy racks. We have 3 SCVs out on the map, but the Overlord, is it going to come across this? Looking at its vision, it barely does see the first proxy racks.
Yep, that is the perfect scout for Dark. He sees the proxy racks, but Cure does not see that he's being seen.
He doesn't know that he knows, and the drones are coming, looking to deny these buildings. We'll see if Cure can get some of them. I think he's going to be able to finish one of those Raxes, but the others should not complete, as the RNG there is looking pretty damn good for Cure.
Oh, we got some good RNG at first, but no, that second SCV does pop out on the wrong side. We're going to need some nice RNG here as well.
Yeah, exactly. As it looks like we do manage to get on the right side, on the left side here of the Raxes. Again, Cure, he's going to be able to finish this. Oh my god.
Oh, good RNG. That was really good for him there. That means the Marine is going to pop out, and now Dark has lost 4 drones of mining time. And this gets up.
It does get up and running. We have a 4th SCV rocking up across the map as well. The 3-ax is going to finish, and this is a disastrous start for Dark. Oh god! He pulled more.
No. Oh no, this isn't it. I don't think this is it at all.
He does get behind the wall. He's going to get on top of the Marines, but he's going to lose too much here. This may just be it. This may just be the series. Yeah.
Yeah, that might be GG. This is such a risky response Dark went for. It was so high risk, high reward, but he didn't stop the Raxes from getting up. That being said, he's getting a spine. The Lings are on the way. 12 Lings are coming out as well as those Queens. He might have bought himself enough time considering he's actually skipped his gas.
Yeah, this is going to be close here. The Lings are looking for a surround. They're going to collapse on some of these Marines, but the star stepping is looking pretty damn good. A couple of Marines are going down. He gets the SCVs. That's 2 of them.
So close. That was a really clever way that Dark did that. He went for the surround by hiding the extra Lings that Q would not be expecting, because normally there would be a gas there. He gets the surround on the Marines. It's going to be so close. Beautiful micro from Dark. Beautiful micro, honestly, from both sides. And I think this might be a hold from Dark.
Yeah, the spine is done. The Queen is out. Dark, there's no bunker. Dark has held, despite what we assumed would be a disastrous moment there. But we do still have a lot of Marines. But again, I feel like as long as we have enough energy for another transfuse as well, like Dark should be okay on 2 bases.
Yeah, I guess I just didn't notice that he was going for a gasless hold, and I suppose losing all that mining time, not quite as bad, considering that the bunkers were not allowed to get up. So yeah, Dark with a bit of an offbeat way to approach this, and looks like he will get the hold.
And to be fair, that was really close. That was I'm sure Dark as well wanted a cleaner defense by denying these Raxes from finishing. So we have a game, and really that's what matters right now. Cure, he's expanding on location. He's got not quite a factory on the way yet. He's continuing Marine production here, just looking to contain Dark to 2 bases.
Yeah, so I mean, that is the one disadvantage. Without speed and without roaches on the way, Dark doesn't really have a way to break out or get counter damage. A bit of a misplay there, loses some of those Lings. And yeah, this actually could get quite scary for Dark now. Looks like he agrees he's going to throw down a second spine. I'm a little bit worried here, just because he doesn't have roaches anytime soon and he doesn't have Ling speed anytime soon.
Yeah, especially after losing all those Lings, Cure, he can break this. It's possible. All Queens they've been all brought down here to the low ground. We do have a transfuse here, keeping the Spine Crawler alive a little bit longer.
All the transfuses are gone. The drones have to be pulled. Cure going to be trying to focus down these Queens. He is going to be getting on top of the drones as well. Beautiful micro coming out from Dark. It might just be enough. He is trying to save the Queens as well, but that means Cure is getting on top of the drones.
But the second Spine Crawler finishes up just in time. The Queens will survive. Only 3 workers go down. That second Spine Crawler was a brilliant decision here from Dark. He definitely did need it. He's going to lose an Overlord, though. That will supply block Dark.
This was so clutch from Dark, but he's not out of the woods. The Marines are going to be starting to put some pressure on the hatchery. The hatchery getting down towards 2/3 health, but the roaches pop, and Dark defending each step of this rush by the skin of his teeth. And I think he's actually put together a defense now.
He has survived. The roaches arrive just in time. Look to the east, and the roaches, they do come down the mountain. They do fend off Cure, and we have a game as he's getting into a third CC. He's throwing down 2 more Raxes back at home, not a factory.
Hey, really interesting stuff. Looks like he's going to have 5 Raxes in total. So both players opting for these very mineral-based low eco defenses. And this time it's going to be Cure's turn to defend with the bunkers, and him combat shield's still a very long ways off.
Oh yeah, no add-ons whatsoever for Cure, but he's going to be working on the on-said add-ons, and there we go. We have the tech labs on the way for Stim and combat shields, with the bunkers finishing up with repairs as well. Without any Ravagers, Cure should be okay here. He should be able to hold on to his natural base. As I say that, Dark, he's not droning. He's still sending more roaches across the map. He wants to try to bust Cure.
Yeah, very aggressive. Recognizes as well that Cure is not going to be able to have tanks or anything like that. Cure taking this very seriously, going for the 3 bunkers here. I do think he will need to pull some SEVs soon to try to repair this. And that, yep, there we go. The SEVs are coming forward. It's going to be up to Dark to try to pick off some SEVs, and that might be how he pays for this commitment.
Yeah, we can see Dark, he's actually droning now as a couple of pilots will be connecting, but he's droning back at home. It's a really rough time to drone, though, because he did cut workers really early on. He's going to be committing here to this attack. He wants to try to break the bunker.
Yeah, big SCV pool has to come out. There are so many roaches focusing this down. Cure realizes the seriousness of the situation, but that's just 1 bunker. There is still 2 more bunkers where that came from, and Dark committed very hard to defend, to breaking that.
Yeah, he lost 7 roaches to kill that bunker. 7 roaches. He didn't even kill the Marines. He killed 4 SCVs, so not the best trade for Dark whatsoever, but his Ravager count is much higher. With that, he should have an easier time biling down this bunker. Oof.
Yeah, I think he's got 7 Ravs now. He's definitely got enough to one-shot this if he can sync them all up, and there you go. He will get that sync, so that bunker is going down. Cure's in some real trouble now. He just has to survive long enough to get Stim.
Exactly, and Stim is still a ways off. The biles connect. The last bunker will fall. The SVs, they have to be pulled against this, and Dark is breaking the natural base.
Yeah, absolutely crazy attack coming out from Dark. A lot of these Marines are battered and bruised, but there's so many of them. Only 9 SCVs going down, but so many of those are orange and red back in the mineral line. Dark does not want to lose his Ravagers when Stim finishes, so he will be backing off now.
Yeah, he will pull back in the end. He's droning back at home. He's working on his 3rd base and his 4th double expanding to try to catch up with the production, with the larva, with the workers as well. And it's been a really intense 8 minutes, but we're calming things down for now. But mate, Cure, he's got a lot of Marines.
Yeah, pretty even looking game, but I think once Cure starts getting these medevacs out, he can look to abuse the lack of anti-air from Dark, and I think he'll probably go for a 4th base pretty soon as well.
Oh yeah, exactly. 3rd base is being saturated as we speak. Once the medevacs do come out, Cure can be active with his Bioforce, and Cure is ahead in army supply right now. There's not too much to really support these Ravagers. If Dark is too greedy, if he drones up too much too quickly, he could lose a lot here to these Marines.
Yeah, it's a bit of a scary situation as Cure is getting into a very high Marine count. The upgrades are going to be relatively equal between the 2 players. I like that Dark went for the double expand here, but I think he might need to be even greedier, to be honest.
It's possible. It is possible, but the drop is arriving. When it comes to the army, what does Dark have? Doesn't have Roach speed. His Roach Ravager is out of position. Nothing quite in the main base. The drop has arrived, and we'll see what Dark loses here as he does pull the boys prematurely.
Yeah, these drops of Cure are going to be an absolute nightmare. Cure sniping down at Ravagers. Good transfuses coming out from Dark, but Cure can just reset this drop over in the corner here. Meanwhile, he does have his forces bearing down on the hatchery. Dark is completely out of position. He did not anticipate this move at all.
Hatchery is going to be going down. Supply blocking Dark as well. Again, Dark, he just doesn't really have an army that can contest against. It's not right now as Cure is pulling back. He's coming back in with the drop, but Dark is waiting with those queens. He's going to be able to hold on to his 3 bases, but he loses the 4th.
Yeah, Dark split and ready. Cure needs to get these Marines out of here, but he does not want to stim here if he doesn't have to.
Exactly. We'll hold off on that stim. Meanwhile, Dark does dip back into the main base, confirming some of the production, aware of the mass buyer he's up against. But now we have tanks, now we have turrets, we have a much more secure position. Cure even just getting ready for potentially borrowed roaches as well.
Yeah, I really like the tank there. It can help deal with Vipers, can help deal with a potential Queen Dropper, anything like that. Just kind of adds a bit more sturdiness to the position, and we do have that fourth base being floated over as well. So Kyo's in a fantastic economic position now.
He really is. The Overseer coming in, just getting confirmation of everything that's going on. I believe Dark has not seen the fourth base, so he's not fully aware of how economic Akira is being
Ooh.
right now, as he's just making a bunch of roaches.
Yeah, it's an orbital too. It's cheeky.
Yeah, he can do whatever he wants, Bobby. Oh my god! And I mean, I don't see a world where Dark can really punish this right now. Like, he's still struggling to max out. He will max out. Don't get me wrong. With Roach Ravager, very committed here at a Dark, staying on a 3-base economy. Up the Ravagers.
Oh, the Ravagers and Marines are getting on top of these. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Kyo is tracking the army with a medevac. This is something that I only see Kyo do, and it's a really, really nice move. He just sits a medevac right on top of the Ravagers, so they can't bile it, or they're going to kill that Ravager. It's just such a cool way to keep track of the army.
Yeah, definitely, but we'll see if Cure can hold on, because Darky is coming in from multiple angles trying to break this siege position, but no, the Ravagers are going down here on the left-hand side.
Yeah, Ravager's going down the left, massive Biles landing on the right. Kyo just didn't quite have the attention or management to dodge on both sides. So both players taking respectively nice trades. It's going to be very close in the end.
Yeah, it looks like Dark is being fended off. He does not break the position. He gets 4 SCVs. He, as you were saying, does get some big Biles on some of the army, but he doesn't really touch the economy of Cure.
Yeah, and as a result, I feel like Dark's in a lot of trouble now. He is on equal equal work account with the Terran. Not really where you want to be, especially when you're behind on upgrades like he is.
Exactly, and especially with an inefficient army like Roach Ravager as well, an efficient supply army, I should say. We see him taking up even further. We have a Banelin S in production, Infestation Bit for Hive Tech. Like, Dark, he's working on that next step, but before he can get there, Cure is pushing out.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be in time. Cure's maxed. He's got a great army. He's got a really good economy as well. He can just force the issue here, and that's going to be forcing Dark to make a lot of army when he wouldn't really like to be, when he wants to be transitioning, but it's just not going to be enough here if Cure can force the issue.
Exactly. I mean, the tanks are being pinned back a little bit here. We can see Cure taking his time, but he's rotating through the center of the map instead. Dark potentially setting up a surround. Link speed, is not done.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to find a run by with those Lings, just anything that he can do to get some damage across the map. But 2-2 is finished here for Cure. We are going to be seeing him trying to force a fight now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, these Lings are going to get damage done, but we have reinforcements back at home. Despite the fact that there is no planetary, the Lings will go down at the same time. A Roach counterattack here at the third base. So Dark is doing some counter damage, don't get us wrong, but can he slow down the main army?
Yeah, Dark, he thrives in the chaos, but Cure, recognizing that a lot of the army is across the map, he just jumps on top of this position, and all the Ravagers, they are melting. GG is called. Cure takes the 2-0.
GG, well played. What a wild game number 2 as well, bearing in mind that this all started with a proxy 3-racks, which was not denied, and as a result, it was very tense between both players, where the Marine army was still kind of posturing and getting damage done as well on Dark. Very close, very back and forth. GG.
Yeah, that was such a good game there. Both players going for some very unorthodox plays there. And Dark, he always forces a scrappy game out of his opponents.
Definitely. GG, well played. But Cure will be the one on top. We mentioned earlier that Cure and Dark, they were undefeated up until now. And Cure, he keeps his record just spotless. Dark does take a loss here. Both players are still in really good positions to make it out of the group, but Cure will be the one on top.
Yeah, most likely all this is really going to decide is the seeding, whether they face a player from another group that came second or came first. But, bragging rights as well.
Definitely. And yeah, so as a result, Cure, I believe he has solidified himself at the top of the group. That was his final series of the group. But Dark still has another down the road. Meanwhile, we're going to be sticking around here on the Korean server. Up next after this break, we have DRG versus Cyan.
Nice, cool ZvT. We'll see you soon for that one.